You can't turn it off, can you? That constant noise in your head, the endless loop of what-ifs, regrets, imagined conversations, future disasters that haven't even happened yet. You replay moments over and over, analyzing every word, every decision, until you feel mentally exhausted. And the worst part? You know it's useless. You know it's draining you, but you still can't stop. It feels like your mind is working against you, like you're trapped inside your own thoughts. But what if I told you something uncomfortable? Overthinking isn't happening to you. It's something you're doing. And even more disturbing, a part of you doesn't want it to stop. This might sound strange, but stay with me. Because what you call overthinking is not just anxiety. It's a coping mechanism, a way your mind tries to protect you from something deeper. Friedrich Nietzsche suggested that humans would rather choose a painful certainty than face an uncertain truth. Overthinking gives you the illusion of control. If you analyze everything, maybe nothing will go wrong. If you replay the past, maybe you'll avoid mistakes. If you predict every outcome, maybe you won't get hurt. But here's the paradox. The more you try to control everything in your mind, the less control you actually have over your life. Because while you're thinking, you're not acting. While you're analyzing, you're not living. Imagine standing at the edge of a pool. You want to jump in, but instead you keep calculating the temperature, the depth, the angle. And while you're thinking, time passes. Opportunities fade, and eventually you walk away. Not because you couldn't jump, but because you thought too much. Overthinking feels productive, but it's often just sophisticated avoidance. Plato once described people trapped in a cave mistaking shadows for reality. Overthinking is your modern cave. You're not experiencing life directly. You're experiencing your interpretation of it, your fears, your assumptions, and those shadows feel real enough to stop you. But here's where it gets deeper. Why does your mind do this? The answer is something most people don't want to admit. You're afraid, not just of failure, but of uncertainty, of rejection, of being wrong, of losing control. Niccolò Machiavelli believed that fear is one of the strongest forces driving human behavior, and your mind uses overthinking as a defense. Because if you stay in your head, you don't have to face the real world. You don't have to take risks, but you also don't grow. There's a hidden comfort in overthinking. It keeps you in a safe loop. Let's be honest. There have been times when you knew exactly what to do. You didn't need more thinking. You needed action. But instead, you delayed. You hesitated. You waited for the perfect moment, and that moment never came. This is the silent cost of overthinking, not just stress or anxiety, but missed opportunities, unlived experiences. Dietrich Bonhoeffer warned about the human tendency to avoid truth by hiding behind comfortable patterns. Overthinking can become that pattern, a mental habit that feels intelligent, but actually keeps you stuck. The solution to overthinking is not more thinking, it's less. Your mind is trying to solve problems that don't exist yet. You're fighting imaginary battles. Think about how much anxiety comes from things that haven't happened, scenarios that may never happen. You're reacting to shadows, not reality. So what happens if you stop? If you interrupt the cycle, your world becomes simpler, clearer, more real. You start to act, even if it's imperfect. Growth comes from embracing discomfort, not analyzing it endlessly, stepping into it, Because clarity doesn't come from thinking, it comes from experience, from doing, from failing. Overthinking keeps you in a loop of preparation, but life doesn't reward preparation alone. It rewards participation. So here's the uncomfortable truth. You don't need more answers. You need more courage. Courage to act without certainty. Courage to make mistakes. Courage to let go of control. Because control is the illusion that's keeping you stuck. And maybe that's why it's so hard to stop overthinking. Because if you stop, you have to face reality. You have to take responsibility. You have to live. And living is unpredictable, messy, uncertain, but it's also the only place where anything meaningful happens. So the next time your mind starts racing, pause. Notice that you're thinking. Notice the loop. Notice the fear behind it. And then gently let it go. Because in that moment, you're no longer trapped. And maybe the real question isn't, how do I stop overthinking? But what am I avoiding by thinking so much? Because once you face that answer, your thoughts were never the problem. They were just a distraction.